let's just do it. Presenting sponsor, Husker game recaps, Dingman's Collision Center. A lot of collisions yesterday at Memorial Stadium.
Lots of collisions.
They need a lot of Dingmans going on here.
Dents in our fenders.
Yeah, locally owned, family operated. Roots run deep in Omaha. Dingman's is the trusted name in collision repair in Omaha for almost 30 years, earning them to be voted first place in Best of Omaha 20 straight years. Pretty incredible. 4 convenient locations across the Omaha metro area. 120th and Maple, 144th and Industrial Road, Midtown at 50th and Saddle Creek, and downtown Papillion. We are very proud to be partnering with Dingman's Collision Center to bring you guys the Husker game recaps. Okay, that's Bo Ruud. I'm Nicholas Allen Bahe. It was a gorgeous September Saturday. I was just telling you the drone shots of the stadium on CBS were amazing. The 95 team had its own tunnel walk. I thought that was interesting. Like the 95 team had their own tunnel walk. Then Bud Crawford leads them out of the tunnel. And unfortunately, Nebraska still couldn't get it done. They lose to Michigan 30-27. Nebraska now has lost 28 straight games to AP top 25 teams. Just crazy. Nebraska is now 8-27 in one-score games this decade. Matt Rule is 4-11 in one-score games at Nebraska. Okay, you were at the game.
Yes.
You soaked in what was a gorgeous Saturday. I got a lot of different ways I'm going to attack this here, but overall, you and I we've been in an if prison. Yeah. We played the if game, if this, if that. I think you can play a lot. You could play the if game with that game for Nebraska.
No need to.
But I don't think we need to, because I don't know. It ended a 3-point game. That the score didn't quite feel quite like that to me. That game felt like there were 2 times, and it was 10-0 and 27-17, that I was like, ooh, this thing could get to like a 2 or 3 touchdown win for Michigan.
Yeah.
Did you feel, I guess I want to start with that. Like, did you feel like the final score accurately characterized how that game truly unfolded?
Ooh,
not that that necessarily matters, but it's,
so let's
get
preface with, the score is fine. I completely agree though. This isn't a, if we did that game, like, to me, we got beat by a team that had just overall more talent and is at a different level than us.
Right.
Like, we're just not to that level. Like, the score was what it should have been. Like, that's what it was to me. There was no if in that game. This was Michigan, who's at another level than us. Even they're not up for Michigan, right? They're not national championship Michigan.
No.
But they're Michigan. With just a different level of talent, and we'll talk about that, within the trenches especially. But like, that's kind of what I saw. Like, that's why I was a little bit less disheartened last night. In a weird way, Nick, I told my wife, I go, I'm not going to lose sleep over this game, because this was a measuring stick game for me.
Okay.
I just needed to see where we measure up. And Michigan's our measuring stick. I needed to see it. And I got to see it. I now know. I kind of thought this is what we were, and we're exactly what we
because that's what's weird though, is I feel like you and I saw this game and saw this team in the same way, and I don't want to be disingenuous because I predicted Michigan to win. Yeah. In a lot of ways, I think one of the last things I said to you before you left my house last week was like, I could see a world where Michigan runs for like 270 yards and da-da-da. Like, in a lot of ways, that game played out exactly how I thought it was going to play out.
Exactly. Nick, I mean, like, what did I say for 4 weeks? It's like, this front seven, I'm not sure. Wait till Michigan, like, it's sort of what's happened. And, like, that, it was exactly what happened.
But okay, so my question though is, You use the term, this is kind of a measuring stick game, and I'm with you. You can predict something and have that prediction come true, but still not feel good about the reality of what unfolded. So my question to you is, how do you feel about how Nebraska measured up here
not as bad as historically after like a close, like here's my weird takeaway. And I think I feel like Adam Hayes said the same thing. I think maybe a lot of people are feeling it the same way. We have made progress in a weird way. Like, Same old, same old. We're losing a close game. I felt like we're a little bit better. We're still not like a playoff team.
No.
So the measuring stick, tells me we're not a playoff team, but we are a better team. So we're not quite there yet. Like we don't have Michigan's just got some guys.
Yes.
And they're and especially in the trenches. Let's call even if we call the wash everywhere else, which I don't know if it is. Their running back is better than our like their quarterback's good.
Mm-hmm.
But is Dylan better?
Yes.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Dylan's a better QB in terms of passing the ball. I think he is. This guy was a good athlete.
Yeah.
But Dylan's I'm not trading Dylan for that guy right now. I'm not.
Yeah.
But their defensive ends, their defensive tackles, their offensive line, like in the trenches is really where you're going to see the separation between all the good teams in the country. There's 10 to 15 that are just on a level, and it's those big guys, right? It's those dudes on the edge that just are going to make QB's lives living hells. Like Dylan got sacked, was it 7 or 8 times?
He got sacked 7 times. I'm going to go with 8 because I think that the 8th one where he got hit and the ball went up in the air, and I'm counting that as a sack. So I'm going to say he got sacked 8 times in that game.
You give up 8 sacks
and 9 TFLs.
Yes, I mean it was a night and day difference between what we've seen to this point. And we needed the reality check. That defensive line needed to give our offense a reality check. Like this is what a good team's defensive line.
I don't mean to be like, I feel like that game, I think everyone needed a little bit of dose of reality. And when I say everybody, like all of the people that were predicting Nebraska to win 10 or 11 games and go to the playoff and all this stuff, like that's a good Michigan team. That's not a top 5 team in the country.
Correct.
Okay. And they came in here and just doiled you for 4 quarters. Yeah. I mean, even their interim head coach after the game said that even at halftime, it was 17-17. He was like, I told the guys, we are manhandling them.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't, it is a weird feeling though, because like, I think we're seeing it the same where I'm not as distraught over that game because it was exactly what I thought would happen. But I also don't want to lose sight of the big picture of like, hey, this is year 3, should Nebraska be further along? Because then the other thing that sucks, and not to keep doing this, and we'll get to the game here in a second, but like, is then you turn on the TV at night and you watch Curt Cignetti and Indiana beat Illinois 63-10. Yeah. And it's like Indiana and Cignetti are like a bad thing for.
Yeah.
Like we use the analogy, Cignetti's like some contractors telling you, it's like you want to build a house and some contractors telling you, it's like, okay, we got to get the architectural renderings, and then we're going to have to, it's going to take
a long time.
It's going to take 3 years for us to get the supplies. And then right next door,
Cignetti builds
and he builds it for cheaper. And he builds it for cheaper and faster. And you're going, well hold on, this contractor's telling me it's going to take 3 or 4 years, and that like,
Cignetti's messing up everything.
Okay.
Let's not think about Nick. I don't even want to think about Cignetti.
Okay. Instead of just doing like, let's talk offense, let's talk defense, let's talk, we'll talk about all that, but I want to do it this way. I wrote down 12 big plays / defining sequences.
I like that. Okay.
We want to do that?
That's
so
cool.
I'm going to go through, and it's in order of the game. Okay. Yep. And then we'll just kind of talk about anything at any moment, you want to grab the wheel and you want to exit and talk about whatever, you do it. Okay. First, obviously I just characterize this first quarter missed opportunities.
Okay.
Nebraska gets the ball, is having a great first drive. I thought Gary Danielson put it well in the middle of the drive. Brad Nessler goes, Dylan Raiola's having a great drive. And Danielson goes, you know who else is having a good drive? Dana Holgerson's having a really good first drive. So Nebraska gets all the way down to 4th and 2 at the 6-yard line. And they go for it instead of kicking the field goal. They run a shovel pass to tight end U, and they get stuck. And then they get the ball back. Cunanan misses a 44-yard field goal. That is anywhere from 7 to 10 points or 3 to 10 points left on the board. In the moment, did you like the decision to go for it?
No, in the moment, I said take the points.
Me too.
I said take the points. It's this weird game coaches play where if you don't take if you take the points, it's like you don't have confidence in your team or something.
Yeah.
And if you, I don't know. I'm just like I'm trying to be more of a realist where I'm like, I kind of thought their defensive line is better than our offense. So I'm like, take the points where you go for it. Their D line sheds blocks and makes the play. Like that's sort of the, it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to hear about analytics. I just want to, I want to know, like, look, see, in the moment, you take the points, it's like this momentum thing. Don't mess up with the momentum. And we can talk about where Michigan messed up their momentum later on. We can talk about that. But like, this is a game of momentum. And like, when you got an opportunity, you take it. And I just feel like, I don't know. I did not like going for it in that moment.
I love what you're saying. Analytics, because Rule referenced that in the post game. That was part of his answer. He said analytics off the charts to go for it there. And almost kind of like, it was a little like, he kind of scoffed at like, well, the analytics. It's like, okay, well, there are these things called variables. Okay. Mm-hmm. And one of the variables is, do you think the offensive line is going to win in a phone booth against Michigan's defensive line?
Yeah.
Give me a break. Okay. The second thing is, the other variable is, how do you input into the analytics the variable of the journey of the past 10 years of Nebraska football and 27 straight losses against ranked opponents, the climate of the stadium, the needing of good vibes and momentum of getting points and all that stuff. Like, so I get it when sometimes it's like there are things where like, yeah, I'm sure when the Ravens are playing the Steelers, like the analytic, like that's the Ravens and the Steelers. Okay. This is Nebraska. This is Michigan. So I didn't like the decision in the moment. This isn't hindsight 2020. I wrote it down in my notes. Hate this call. Thought they should have went for it. I didn't even like the shovel pass call either.
Yeah.
And it ends up in some ways that this whole sequence of going for it and then getting the ball back and missing the field goal was I don't want to say like was the difference in the game, but in some ways it's the whole complexion of the game changes if you get a lead as opposed to they get a lead.
It's weird how it felt to me like watch that whole game. There's a lot of sequences. There's a lot of things that happened. I went back to that first, like we're getting stuff there. To me, I felt like Michigan got really confident after that play. Like it helped Michigan a lot. And it feel like it set us back an entire like half almost, like truly like,
yes,
I don't know. To me, that was a play that where we take the points, I think we take some of like the juice out of Michigan and
the stadium stays juice.
I feel like we had something to build on versus like, I feel like it put us in a hole or something.
I agree. The other thing,
it's hard. I get it. Like you want to be aggressive. You want to say, we don't want to carry that 10 years in Nebraska, BS that we've been dealing with. But like at the same time, like, I just think when you're playing a team that's better than you take the points.
I couldn't agree more. The other thing that was evident even as Nebraska was moving the ball in the first two drives, where, and I wrote it down, Dylan running for his life, ? Like you could tell right away, even though they were moving the ball, that pocket was collapsing.
Yeah.
And it was like, this could be a problem.
That wasn't a pocket. It was like an alley. It was like walk down the back alley. There was like the cup. It was never a cup, Like,
No. So that was, okay. Defining sequence number one. Number two, Michigan's missed touchdowns.
Yeah.
Had two, in my opinion. They have the trick play where,
just throw it up, man. Just lob it.
Just literally, you could have 500, throw it up, and you could have literally thrown a 500 moon ball, and Nebraska couldn't have recovered to get back to it.
Yep.
They run the trick play, they drop it, and then it was either on the very next play or or two plays later. Underwood, the only thing Underwood needs to do is he needs to not throw 100-mile-an-hour fastball every time he throws the ball. Sometimes he needs to dial it back.
Yeah.
But he hit one of their receivers on a corner route and went right through his hands.
Yep.
So Michigan had a missed opportunity early with those two drop touchdowns in the end zone. Third defining sequence, which is Dylan Raiola's interception, which he misread it. That in some ways that could have been a pick six.
Yeah.
where it was the guy who makes a good play actually deflects it, and then the other guy is able to grab it.
But I mean, I guess they scored the next.
And they score on the 37-yard touchdown run from Bryce Underwood on the quarterback draw, where, again, you're going to see a theme here. It's one thing to give up these long touchdown runs. It's another thing to give up these long touchdown runs where at least 2 of the 3, they weren't even touched.
Yeah, and this is what I was, if there's like a specific play I can point to where I'm like, what am I worried about coming into this game? It's that I could have probably, if you said draw up one play you're worried about, I probably could have drawn that up. They're going to motion out of the backfield. Right. It's going to be a QB draw. Everybody in the field should know it's a QB draw. And for some reason, our defensive line doesn't understand that it's going to be a QB draw. And they, it almost looked like it was a stunt that they didn't run correctly, because we had guys just like crashing down, opening up gaps, and there's no one there. So like, if you have nobody in an empty set, there is no way that you're not running a stunt that's going to, even out the path, the rush lanes to try to stop the quarterback, or you're rushing with the like sole thought of like, we have to collapse the pocket and not get past this quarterback. Like thinking about rushing with this quarterback running, like 4 draws and scrambles. It's like, there's no way they didn't talk about that. There's no way like football players with awareness aren't thinking that. And I just felt like it was not even on their radar.
Yeah. The second he planted his back foot and took off, you just were like, uh-oh, because there was nobody there. I mean, I'm not sure if you went back and watched the highlights or the TV. I mean, they did the all 22 cam. I mean, it's nobody's even in the middle of the field at all.
This is what happens. Like when you're going up against somebody physically, like just one-on-one, like D-line, O-line, like when you physically are just like, it's really hard to get off the block.
Right.
Like it's hard for them to, like, that to me was a moment where I was like, oh yeah, we're not ready for this level of QB runner with this line, because it just felt like they were overmatched a little bit.
And I thought early on, it seemed like they called the right play against Butler's call a few times early.
Agreed. I think their coordinator manufactured a lot of good offense.
Yes. So now this is where you got to, this feels moral victory-ish, but I don't mean to, because I think it matters. Now it's 10-0. And the one thing you got to hand Nebraska is they responded twice down 10. It didn't. In years past, you felt like, well, here comes the avalanche. It didn't happen. So if I'm not mistaken, it was Elijah Judy that forces the fumble on Underwood, and Nebraska recovers, which sets up a field goal for the Huskers for them to get on the board 10-3. Then I wrote down the Ja'Cory Barney sequence. Barney has the good punt return.
Yep.
And then Barney has a catch. Lindenmeyer has a catch. They have a nice drive. And I think they had a bust. And Barney catches the seam route touchdown right down the middle of the field. 10-10. All of a sudden you go, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like this game's tied. Things felt bleak when you'd left points on the board. You got down 10-0. And all of a sudden this thing's tied 10-10. Real quick, what was it like in the stadium? I
mean, Nick, for sure the stadium's rocking. Like, you can feel, I think, I can't remember exactly how things felt long ago, because we were just killing everybody and it was along. But like, I do feel like the emotions swing faster now. Like people quickly kind of go, oh, it's over. Oh, we're back. Like it roller coasters more than it used to, but it was definitely like, hey. It was on the before. I was like, oh.
But because guess what happens on the very first play from scrimmage?
Yep.
Justice Haynes, who's a good runner.
Yeah.
75 yards to the house. So right when you felt like Nebraska got up off the mat, battled back, boom, they take momentum right away. It looked like it was one of those plays where it was like it was like hat on a hat, great blocking, and it was. And this is a theme that we're going to get into. It was one-on-one. It was Haynes, Marquise Buford
in the hole.
In the hole.
But we were running a stunt, I think, up front, but we weren't like,
yeah, you got to speak
it's like, it just, some of these holes are too big. It makes it hard in a safety. Like you open the hole that big.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard, so like part of our job is like, we got to be more defined up front, and we got to you got to, condense these holes. So like, it's one thing. It's like, you can't always win.
Sure.
But you got to condense the hole. In Michigan, the theme of the night is this. There's like an ebb and a flow on the line. One guy, you're either getting extension on the D line and getting off blocks, right? Which their defense was doing, and collapsing pockets on our QB, or the offense is getting push and widening the holes. Now you're in your gap. You're where you're supposed to be as a defender, but you're getting pushed out a little bit, right? It's a strain. It strains everybody. It strains that, the person coming down to fill it. It just is a harder tackle. Everything gets harder when you're winning that sort of whatever, like the bow and the ebb of the lines, right?
Yeah,
so it's either condensing, it's condensing and collapsing, it's pushed back, or it's like, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking who's kind of winning those, and man, they got some dudes.
No, you're right. I mean, because there were times where you're like, man, it seems like Nebraska wasn't necessarily just like completely getting pushed. Like, it wasn't like they weren't in the picture.
They weren't completely getting bullied, but there were moments they were getting kind of like, you're just getting worked a little.
No, it's a great point. And it's why we have you here, because you played and you understand these things. Like, because it's easy to sit there and go, and heck, I started to kind of do it like, come on, Buford. It's like, there are certain situations in basketball, football, whatever, where like, even a good player isn't going to win in a situation. Like a good running back versus a good safety, one-on-one in space. Like, it's just advantage running back.
Yeah. And so for Buford, it's like, all right, like the perfect play is you come down, you stick him at the, a 3-yard gain, right? A B- or a C play is like, hey, I come down, I have to go a little slower because there's a big hole, and I kind of have to, rally him to the sideline, or he gets 7 or 8 because I'm in worse position and didn't, but like, he got an F where he took a bad angle and gave up 75. Right. You can't do that, Nick. Right. If you're Buford, you got to get him down, and it doesn't matter if it's a 5, 10, or 15-yard gain. You got to get him down.
Yeah. So couldn't agree more.
But like, it's easier to get the 3-yard stop when the hole is condensed, and it just like, we had too much. The more times you do that, the more chances it's like it's Haynes verse, and like, he's good.
Yes,
he's good. Yes. So like, he won.
Right. But it's yes, what he, because it did. Buford came screaming into the hole. He didn't break down. He took a bad angle, and all it took was, it wasn't even really a move Haynes made. I mean, he kind of stuttered and just,
he ran by him almost.
He literally basically just ran by him. It was like, I had to rewind it a couple times. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
Because he just, again, I don't think anybody got a finger on him.
I mean, it's like, he's fast too. Like, we saw him against Oklahoma.
Yep.
Like, when that dude hit the second level, like, he hasn't been caught this year.
No. Against Oklahoma and Nebraska, he's taken 270. Because if you rewatch, for people that don't know, Justice Haynes took it 75 yards on the first play from scrimmage to start the third quarter at Oklahoma. Like, very similar looking play.
Like, I don't think this guy's a Heisman Trophy winner, but like, his start to the year, he's going to be in the Heisman conversation, because like, he's hitting long ones every day.
Okay, so I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're on 6. We're on defining sequence big play number 6. We are 24 hours removed from this, and I still don't fully know what happened. So we're going to attempt to explain everything that happened. The coaching decisions at the end of the half, very weird.
Yes.
Ultimately, when the dust settles, it was Michigan's interim head coach that totally screwed that whole situation up.
Completely. And here, I have a whole theory on this.
Give it to me.
So this is the theory. We were talking about momentum, right? We had momentum in the first, like Nebraska, kick the field goals, get the momentum, keep it going. I actually thought Michigan had all the momentum after that touchdown.
17-10.
17-10. We get sacked, it felt like it was 3rd and like 17 with roughly a minute and change to go. And I felt like, if you're Michigan, you have more talent. Why are you not taking the timeouts at that point and putting the pressure on us?
Yes.
Like, the pressure needs to be put on us, and you should be thinking, we got a minute. We just hit this couple long runs. Why wouldn't we try to score again?
Yes.
And Michigan sort of, and I think Matt Rule said, like, he was like, they're going to let us run this down.
Well, that's right. I think that's why it came across as like Holgorsen and Rule weren't on the same page. I think they were totally blown away that they didn't call timeout.
Michigan had the momentum, and Michigan didn't take advantage of it. Michigan should have put the pressure on us, because I was going, let's get out of this half. Like, I was thinking, let's get out of this half.
So when they were when they weren't calling timeout, I was kind of like, okay, this is great. And this is where, I don't know if this is, sometimes it fits a narrative, so you piece it together. People always go, okay, so what, the whole idea of like, how big of a deal is it's an interim coach, your head coach is gone. Well, maybe that's an example of it where, like, as an interim coach, you aren't used to
making that
kind of decision where you're having to manage the clock.
There's no doubt to me that played a part in it, because it felt weird in the stadium. I'm sitting there going, Michigan, if I'm you, I'm putting the heat on us. Those timeouts put pressure on the defense. And so, we're happy to get out of the half. But the fact they just didn't ever want the ball back, then Matt Rule starts seeing 10, 9. He goes,
well, shit, we might as well just throw a Hail Mary here.
And the announcer made a good point. The risk goes down when 1 second comes on the clock. Your risk goes way low.
Right.
That you can go, well, we can make a chuck. We can chuck it up.
Yes.
And it won't cost us anything, pretty much.
Yes.
And so Matt Rule, you got to give a coach credit when he felt that moment change with the last 10 seconds, goes, hey, let's just take a shot.
Yeah, and
great decision.
And lo and behold,
job.
What should have happened is Michigan should have called their timeouts, forced Nebraska to punt.
Yes.
You never know; something could go wrong punting or whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't know. And then they have an amazing field goal kicker. Maybe you get to where you get a 58-yard field goal. It just makes no sense. If Michigan would have lost the game,
that's it.
Ann Arbor is like, you got to be kidding me.
That is the sequence. It was a coaching mistake.
Yes.
It was like a mentality. They needed to step on our throats in that moment and try to, and they went soft on us.
Right. It was weird.
It was a soft, and Matt Rule was
credit
like,
to
we're
him.
gonna go.
Right.
So that's like we're Michigan. If it's like a boxer almost,
yeah.
right? We're Bud Crush. So like it's like a boxer being like, all right, the round's almost over. It's like, I'm gonna go touch your glove, and somebody punches you,
right.
And we basically just like, what? You're gonna put your hands down? We'll punch you,
right?
And that's what we did. So Michigan, I promise you, Nick, they will never be that passive again. That was they'll learn from that, but it was a momentum swing that they just like let us have.
And then on top of that, so then Nebraska runs the Hail Mary, obviously. And on top of that, they allow Dylan to roll right. They allow him to get just so many things. It was like, Michigan, could you have fucked this up any more at the end of the half? And credit Nebraska for taking advantage of it. And Dylan's able to let everybody get down into the end zone. He even waits a count. Just
great job. Great job.
Perfect.
But that also shows the competency of Matt Rule. Dylan too. I thought Dylan did I think there's a reason why Doug Flutie's had multiple Hail Marys. It's not like a coincidence, the people that are good at it. Like Aaron Rodgers, same way. Those guys are great players, and you have to have a feel for how to do that right. And it's good to see Dylan showed I'm going to throw it right in the front of the end zone and give you a chance.
And little ass Ja'Cory Barney. He's
a competitor.
Oh yeah. Just little tiny number 2 out there.
Ja'Cory, the club's open for business this week.
The club will include one Ja'Cory Barney this week. I will say he is in there.
We have some Ja'Cory issues plans coming up, but
yes.
Overall, there's no way we're not going to talk to Ja'Cory.
Okay, so let's get to those issues. But I wanted to say that. So now it's 17-17 halftime. Okay. First punt of the third quarter. Ja'Cory Barney catches the punt at the 3-yard line. And in some ways, that kind of flipped everything for the whole third quarter.
It was almost like the goal line stand of the first drive. You know what I'm saying? It's both instances took the winds out of the sails of our offense.
I think Ja'Cory Barney strikes me. Now, he's never lacks confidence, but I think he thought he was having a day. And he kind of was. He had the good punt return. He has the touchdown on the seam route. He just caught a Hail Mary. I've been there as a player where you know what he did, Bo? I think he's sitting back there on this punt.
Taking no matter
He
what.
goes, no matter where this motherfucking ball goes, I'm catching it. And he predetermined, and he goes back and he makes a huge mistake.
I know, but it's just like
it's frustrating.
Practice in a certain way.
I know
this is how,
I know
it's like fundamentals. Like just do your fundamentals, and you know what? If it's the moment, you'll feel it. But like if you're on the 10 that's going behind you, go fake it out and help the team. You know,
how many times have we seen this over the years? What is so hard about putting your heels on the 10-yard line and just knowing that if I'm going backwards, I'm not catching it? Like, why is that hard?
He can't catch the balls in front of him, but then he's going to go back. You know, like he misses all the ones up short. Like, go catch the ones short. Let the ones go behind you go. It's frustrating. So we've seen this now a handful of times in the last couple of years, and they've been really crucial game deciding mistakes, and it's on the returners. I mean, I know there's coaching and but like, let's be real.
Nobody's coaching him to do that.
We know that every coach is pretty much like, guys, there's no way Eckler's not coaching.
Especially, I forgot to bring this up to the complexion. So Nebraska has all momentum.
Yeah.
Going into half right now. Okay.
God.
Come out of the third. Here's Michigan. So Michigan's first series, they run a play action pass to the wide receiver for a 15-yard gain, get a first down. But then 1st and 10, stuffed run. 2nd and 9, they run a little out to the tight end for about 6-7 yards. It's 3rd and 3, and Vincent Shavers makes an amazing play. They try a running back screen. Shavers blows it up. So Michigan has to punt. So I'm saying, like, you force a punt, but for all intent, it's a 4-play drive and a punt.
Yeah.
So then you punt, you catch it at the 3, and I'm adding things here. So first, Nebraska ball at their own 3. 1st and 10, Emmett Johnson up the middle for about 2 or 3. 2nd and 7, Emmett Johnson, short gain. 3rd and 6, Dane Key, 6-yard hitch, 1-on-1. The fucking corner from Michigan sticks his ass.
Doesn't break a tackle.
Doesn't even not saying you got to make him get the first.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, 1-on-1, Michigan won
every time.
Yep. Like if you just charted 1-on-1 scenarios, they won every time.
Yep.
And then that's when Nebraska got the delay of game. So now Archie's punting from the back of his end zone. Yep. He punts it. And then what happens? You get you end up getting the field goal. Nebraska goes 3 and out, punts. 2nd play from scrimmage for Michigan. Jordan Marshall, 55-yard touchdown run, kind of basically didn't get touched. Yep. And now it's 27-17, and it is
Yep.
So now it's a code red. Nebraska had back-to-back 3 and outs to begin the second half. You get a 55-yard touchdown. Michigan's up 27-17. Next huge sequence. Nebraska goes 3 and out again. But Michigan gets an unsportsmanlike conduct taunting Nebraska sideline penalty. That another thing Ann Arbor would be up in arms about. That it felt like, this feels hyperbole, but I don't know what it felt like to you. It felt like the game was going to be over. Because Nebraska had 3. It was going to be their third. It was going to be 3 straight 3 and outs. The defense was coming back onto the field.
Yeah.
And instead, it keeps the drive alive, and Nebraska's able to drive down the field for another big sequence. Isaiah Hunt, 3rd and 14, Dylan rolls right. Hunter steps out of bounds in the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
And then it's illegal touching and comes in and catches the touchdown. So instead of 7, they have to settle for a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Is the painting of the end zone a little weird?
No, it's red now. It's red with white outline, right? So
it's red. What's confusing about it, and I'm trying so it's red with the white back.
Yeah,
backline, but then it's red behind it. So I could see how it would be a little tricky in your head Pull it up, see if you can see what I mean.
So the new one, it's going to be red. I'm seeing red with just a white line with red behind it.
Then there's red behind it. My point is the red behind it is a little like, is that a little weird?
I mean,
it still is just like inexcusable for an Isaiah Hunter.
I don't think so. I mean, in my mind, it's like, there's like, I don't know. I mean,
there's another, not to go back in the if prison because I'm on if probation, but that's a better if, just because it was so late in the game that it was like a majority of the game had been played and you were still, it's
quite
27-17. This is the final play of the third quarter.
Yeah.
And Hunter, because you were like, did he get shoved out? Not really. I mean, it was a little like he just stepped out of bounds.
Yeah.
So instead of 27-20, it could have been 27-24, but Nebraska has to settle for a field goal. Okay. Now I have two more big sequences. This one, this whole thing was just very disheartening. Michigan comes on the field and they brought their hard hats here. They have a 16-play, 77-yard drive that eats up 8 minutes and 46 seconds of the clock.
Mm-hmm.
Started the drive with 12 minutes and 40 seconds left. The drive ends with 3:54 left in the game. But what's so frustrating, we talk about one-on-one. 3rd and 5, see your right, misses a tackle.
Oh, that one hurt.
Gives up a first down. 3rd and 9. It looks like they check to a screen. I think Nebraska showed blitz. They check to a running back screen. They give up 15 yards. I couldn't remember who missed. If someone missed there, it looked like
Dason.
I think it was McCullough.
Dason he was out there. He missed. That's right. Because Wright, I remember being in the stadium thinking that Wright missed tackle. I go, that might be it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like we're off the field. We get to me, I'm going, this could be it.
It's
right?
27-20, baby.
Yeah.
Like missed tackle, 3rd and 5. 3rd and 9, check to a running back screen, give up 15 yards, first down. 3rd and 10. Haynes off the left tackle picks up like 12, 15 yards. And I didn't know. That seemed like they called that, like they had the perfect call.
Yeah.
But one thing I wanted to ask you on the replay, it looked like I know there's a wide 9, but Nwaneri's so far.
Yeah.
Like lined up so far.
Like he was in East Stadium.
Literally he is getting a cheese runza at East Stadium.
He heard about those new corn cobs on the stick. He thought he goes, gotta get a hand down and get the guy in the concession.
It's like, here, hold on. Big third down. Hold on. Hold on one second. Okay. I mean, he was so far wide. And then Haynes comes right. They run right down that gap and pick up a first down.
Yeah.
So, and then the next 2nd and 11, they run an Underwood quarterback draw, and he picks up 11 yards for a first down. So, with the game on the line, you give up a 3rd and 5, a 3rd and 9, a 3rd and 10, and a 2nd and 11, all first downs.
Yeah, it was sort of like this to me was the defense's reality check. Was they didn't have a great game, but they didn't have a atrocious game either.
I agree.
It felt like that's where there's progress. It felt like okay, they definitely they called a pretty good game. They were good in the offensive line, not unbelievable, and I felt like they were still moving us at times, right? And winning. They were winning that battle, but we still had a chance to get the stops, and I feel like we just didn't have that instinct to make the play. Which maybe in the past I felt like we actually did, and it was always our offense that couldn't do it, right? And now I kind of felt like our offense could do it, and our defense just didn't have it.
I had confidence like that. I've had the most confidence I've ever had in Nebraska's offense to potentially to get the ball down 27-20 and go drive down and score.
Yeah.
was this offense because of Dillon, and Holgerson. But it's just disheartening. And a lot of this stuff is just one guy's got to make a tackle.
Yeah. It's Sierra Wright. I love the guy.
Yes.
Sierra Wright, method actor.
Yeah.
I think he was experimenting with some things. But
he tried to improv there, and they were like, stick to the script.
He was trying to be a strong safety that day. I said, no, just be lockdown corner, stay outside.
So then Michigan kicks the field goal. It's 30-20.
So all that work, and they got a field goal. Only a field goal, but that's going to be an important field goal.
A very important field goal, because it's weird. Nebraska's they drive down the field to score a touchdown on hands off my Heinrich Harburg scores it to make it 30-27. At one point, things looked crazy bleak with what I was talking about when Dillon got sacked and the ball goes up in the air, and I think it was Latovsky or whoever caught it, and it was 3rd and 22. I think is what it was. What was so? It was
forever. Yeah,
third and 22. Dillon makes an incredible throw to Isaiah Hunter under duress to get to 4th and 1. They run the quick out to Harburg to get the first down. They throw the shot down the sideline to Hunter where they get pass interference. And then 1st and 10 at the 24, they run the deep crosser to Barney, which is just a ridiculously good throw.
Yeah.
And then Barney gets lit up. They review targeting. They say it's no targeting, and then they score. So it's going to get forgotten.
And they ran the same play to Heine, which I love, because I was like in the same going, here it comes. It's going to Heine. It's the same play, Michigan. And they just it's a hard play to stop still. But
because it's a pick play. But instead of 2 receivers, it's the tight end that's going out.
Yeah, and they didn't recognize again. But that was a better play. Maybe if they would have ran that. I mean, they're going to go. That was a better play.
I thought to myself, where was that play on 4th and 2? But whatever. But lost in all of that. That was an incredible drive by Dillon.
So that's the difference between this year and a lot of those Frost years. Is I just don't feel like we could ever comfortably make that drive. No. I feel like with Dillon now, that's the difference. Is like these teams are going to go into their prevent defense, and Dillon's really good in those moments. Like he's like like the best thing you can do to Dillon is you just got to bring heat on him and make it. If you sit back, he'll win.
He is going to destroy you.
Yes, and so absolutely, my confidence is complete with Dillon in those moments. And that's where I was like, if we can get the onside, I actually was confident. We got to get it.
Well, and on the low, great onside kick.
It was slow and it dribbled with the bounce.
And the guy
Carter Nelson was coming, and he just needed to take the guy out. Probably that's hard to do in the moment, I'm sure. But gosh, it got me thinking. If you could kick that ball every time, I would onside it a couple times a game. I feel like you could get really good at just.
It's one thing I've never understood. I'm kind of amazed that we have specialists for everything, that there isn't one kicker out there that is just like literally, I can kick the perfect onside kick every time.
I know there was this high school team. You're talking about analytics that
never punted,
and
always onside kicked.
And always onside kicked. And there's a part of me that's like, okay, if you're going to be into analytics, I think you should be that. I think you should be that extreme. You either say we're never punting. And we're all like, but that's stupid, actually. But
no, I know what you're saying. But you're serious, but not serious.
Yeah, but there's like a part of me. It's like I would love to see how much it would change the game if somebody got so good at doing the onside kicks that they actually got a handful of them a game. Because that would change the way you thought about a lot of you could feel like you could actually get the ball back more often. Because then if you had a great offense, you would just be
just be hammering. You'd get the ball at the midfield. Yeah, so great onside kick. But a great play by Michigan to high point that thing and catch it. So then one more for the road before this thing ends. Michigan has the ball, minute 33. Nebraska's got 2 timeouts. 1st and 10, they run it up the middle for about 3 or 4. Nebraska calls timeout. 2nd and 7, they run, they bounce it outside. Donovan Jones, missed tackle. Running back squeaks to the sideline, gets a first down, slides down. Ball game. Michigan runs out the clock, and Nebraska loses 30-27. Any define it, because we have a couple of things to get to. I thought as I wrote down, I hit all the big sequences there.
I think that you hit them all.
Okay.
I mean, to me, that those were the big plays. but like we went back to the very start, like this isn't a if or woulda, coulda, shoulda game. This was a Michigan beat us.
Mm-hmm.
And we also learned that we're a decent team. We're not a playoff team yet.
No.
But there is progress. I think with Dylan, with our offense, I just think we looked better coached in a lot of areas. Even if we still were missing a few tackles, there are some areas to clean up. We got some dudes we need to fill in on some of these defensive front seven positions that we're not going to be a unit until we got guys that are like some of those Michigan edge guys. I mean, they were putting our tackles back in Dylan's lap. They were small guys. They looked small too, but they were so explosive. They would just march our guys back.
I would say that is maybe the one element that it didn't shock me, but it was more dramatic than I was anticipating. I wasn't anticipating Nebraska's tackles to have zero chance of blocking Michigan's edge rushers.
Yeah.
That surprised me a little bit.
It wasn't Aiden Hutchinson.
No.
It wasn't Chase Young from those guys are like, hey, those guys are the top pick or two in the NFL draft. Like those guys are freakazoids. I mean, these guys were good. I bet you these guys made some money yesterday.
Number 1 for Michigan.
Number 8 was his name. Yeah. Number 8, number 4. Like those guys were ballers. Dude. Those guys are good.
Those guys are even Ernest Hausman. I know he's not an edge guy, but they blitzed him and he
blitzed fast. Yeah. He these guys are good players. And you could just see, like, I don't know that we got those guys right.
No. Couple of other things, and we got the Peerless top performer, all that stuff. But real quick, I tell you about Pella Windows and Doors. Take it from me, someone that has actually used Pella on my home, front door, bay window, bedroom windows, working with the good folks at Pella, A+. I'm sitting here watching the game on CBS. My Pella commercial comes on. I'm like, oh my God, look at there. I'm on it. Push a Pella. It's fantastic. I love being synonymous with Pella. Vince, Debbie, the whole crew. They're great. Check out the Omaha showroom, the Lincoln showroom, or go to PellaOmaha.com for any and all window door needs. Pella is the place to go. Okay. So Nebraska's offensive line, we've talked about it. Gave up 8 sacks. I'm counting the last one. 9 TFLs. Rushing yards for Nebraska, 43. We criticized a little bit of their ability to pass pro. Can I ask you a question though on Dylan? Like, how much does
he need to get the ball out?
Get the ball out of his hands, or just he doesn't really have a great feel. And this isn't about mobility, because like Tom Brady had great pocket feel with zero athleticism of how to avoid sacks, get rid of the ball, whatever. He's got a ways to go, I think, in that. If I had to be critical, he looks, all this offseason was like, man, Dylan's really, he's running better. He looks just as immobile as he looked last year to me. That's the only criticism of him.
That's not like somehow I swear, like, I'm going to say he came out and they were like, calling him like a doodle threat, right? So maybe that's why he should have been like, this guy was, he is as closer to Vinny Testaverde than he is like Lamar Jackson. Okay.
Right.
Like he is a pocket passer. I do think you're right. There is an element of like getting really good at, keeping your eyes downfield and just
up and out or whatever.
Slithering through that pocket and staying tall. But to me, it always comes down to, get the ball out, good or bad, get it out. Like, to me, it's like, it's like you don't keep every play alive. You got to pick and choose it where you say, hey, I'm going to tuck it and I'm going to bounce around. But more of the time, I think we live to see another day. By getting it out, you don't take that sack. Like, I would even say, like in the first quarter, he takes that sack right before we kick a field goal. Do you know how much we missed the field goal by?
Yeah.
A couple yards. Do you know how big the sack would move us back a couple yards? The difference between a 30-yard field goal and a 35, it's like,
it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean,
it makes it a harder kick. So like little things like that, like, like sometimes you take the sack and you get out of field goal range, or, like you take the sack and now you're back farther in the punts. Like all these things are like, if you just get rid of it and move on to the next play. I totally
agree. And I hope I'm making a prediction that I hope doesn't come true. He's going to get pick sixed by one of his little, like, he's getting hit and he like
stop doing,
and he like flips something out to like Emmett or Lindenmeyer. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, there's going to be a huge moment where he's going to get hit and do one of his little flicks and someone's housing that thing.
Yeah, and he's a little loose with the ball still.
Yes.
He was lucky not to get strip sacked. He needs to keep the two hands on it. And I would recommend, because he's not, like, he needs to get more comfortable basically being like, there's Emmett Johnson for the check down, and he's well defended. I'm going to throw it 2 yards in front of him into the dirt. Move on to the next play. Like, quickly get rid of the ball and just get on to the next play. Like, I think we are a better team when we do not, like, when we're just fiercely protecting from turnovers. Like, when we're just like, we're not going to take risks. And over time, that's going to pay off.
Right.
And so I just think we need to get back in that efficiency where, he threw the one bad pick six, but it's like, if you don't have any other turnovers, you stay in the game at least. So I think we were lucky on a few of those. Like
those, I'm like, oh, now sometimes, I mean, it's weird. It's the same thing that makes him good is sometimes he makes these unbelievable off schedule. All of a sudden he finds a guy and stuff, but it's
that's okay more than you're basically sacked and you're kind of like, I feel like those are plays you make under, like, you don't actually see what's going on. You're just
you're just throwing it. You're heaving it out to someone. So I don't know. I just think the tackles got owned. Yeah. Michigan's pass rush with oftentimes it wasn't like they were like blitzing the whole game necessarily either. But I also think Dylan's gotta do a little better of, like, he can't get sacked 8 times, man.
No, like, most of those are on the O-line.
Yes.
A couple are on Dylan, just to be like, Dylan, like, when you're getting a lot of pressure, like, you got to sort of, okay, this is going to be a little bit different game. Like, my clock is going to be quicker now, right?
Right. The D-line, I mean, they gave up 286 yards rushing. Now, it's hard because it's like there's a 54-yarder, a 75-yarder, and a 37-yarder. But, I mean, there's no doubt that the O-line for Michigan was dominating Nebraska's defensive line. You give up those. It's weird because I bet on some level Rule can go like, man, all we got to do is we take away those 3 long runs and you can put it on a dry erase board and be like, you just got to be there. And it's like, yeah, that sounds easy.
No, that's more what I'm talking about. Like, when the line is going, when the lean is going the other way, over time, those plays happen. That's basically what, the Michigans, the Iowas, and the Iowas of the world have always done. Like, Iowa bores you to death, but they hit a long run like once a game, right? Like, they find a way to do it because they really are good at that. Like, the double team to the chip knocks our guys into each other, and like, that's what it's all about for them.
Agree.
Like, that's what they're doing. And it just, where if the lean's going the other way, it happens a lot less. And so that's where we got to start, getting to the next level as a program, and it's going to be in the trenches.
I was listening to the Husker Online guys, Robin Washut, Sipple, Sean Callahan, and they were doing I listened to a little bit of their post-game show, and they got into kind of the topic of, and they think because of the new world we're living in, it's fair game to do this, a little critical of some of the off-season portal decisions where you paid Elijah Pritchett big money and he's not playing. And you know what Nebraska needed in that game was a tackle.
Yeah.
A tackle or two.
Yep.
Where when he was on the field, he wasn't slowing down those Michigan guys. And then the other thing that I still can't understand this. And I'm curious because it's the Nebraska's run game yesterday. I watched Justice Haynes. Hell, I even look at their backup, Jordan Marshall, and I'm like, I think for sure, Haynes, I think Marshall's better than Emmett Johnson.
Well, Nick, that's why we're all off season. We liked Emmett Johnson.
Yes.
But we're like, you need 2 running backs, and freshmen don't count to me. Like, you need to have 2 veterans, right? And we didn't go out and get somebody. And that's where I'm like, okay, we went and got 2 receivers. All right, great. But we didn't go get another running back. And so I don't know. To me,
It's just because Nebraska couldn't run the ball yesterday. And whether that was the offensive line or a little bit of who's toting the rock there, Nebraska had zero teeth in their run game. And we talked about it all offseason, as you pointed out. I still don't understand it. And this is in no way, shape, or form like meant to be. We put Emmett in the club. I think Emmett he's in
the club. He's one of our guys.
Yes. But I would still
argue he's our offense.
Yeah, he's so important because he can catch out of the backfield, all that stuff. Like, especially after losing Dowdell in the portal.
Yeah,
I even thought if they would have kept Dowdell, they needed to go get somebody.
Yeah,
the decision to not go get a portal running back, and then the missing on, I want to say missing because that makes it sound like I'm
he's
punting
young.
on, but like right now Right now, the big bucks you spent on an offensive lineman isn't yielding results.
Well, I guess that's the new era where, like, this is the NFL.
That's what,
and you go out in free agency and you spend your money on, my brain's in the year 2000. Jonathan Ogden, come on, Bo. What
you
year
go
is
out
it?
and you get Nitschke.
Anthony Munoz from the 1988 Cincinnati Bengals team. Is he still available? What year is your brain in, Bo?
I love how we are so stuck in it. We have no relevant.
I mean,
we have zero. Micah Parsons. That's a trade, I guess. But that's bad.
Like, if you go get Micah Parsons, then he's your backup. Or what's our version of that? Like, I don't know I want to see what the dollars and cents are. I would love to see, like, what's Nebraska's salary cap? Okay, let's look at it. Who's getting paid what, right? So then, like, you go out and, like, who you're spending money on, it kind of matters how well you spend that. Because in reality, like, that's the name of this new game.
It's a bad look. I guarantee you they paid
hundreds of thousands.
Oh, maybe even with
more.
Maybe an M in front of it for this guy.
And that's crazy to me. If you get paid and you know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's what you get him for that game. You go in the portal and flash around that kind of money to get somebody to be able to protect in that game. And it didn't happen. And then I also think the reason you go in the portal and get a dude at running back is for that game.
Yeah. And
I felt like the Husker Online guys opened the door for it. And it's true because of the world we're living in now with these guys are getting paid and these guys, like,
who do we pay on defense? Was it Jalen George?
Yeah. Probably McCullough.
We paid McCullough. I'd say McCullough and Winery. I like those. That's good. I think those guys are good players, worth paying to come here. We want them in our program. But, like, the D tackle spot, we couldn't fill a deep tackle spot. We brought in Watson Trent, who's like, I mean, he's not a, he's not an NFL guy. He's not even he's barely a starter.
Marshall, you bring in Andrew Marshall.
I thought that's a pretty good pick.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Then obviously Dane Key, Hunter hit like you got, those are, but
the offensive line, I'll give it. Spindler's a starter, but missing on Pridgett, interior linemen, linebackers, like.
And a running back. And going to get a running back.
And the fact is, like, in this world, like, I think you've got to have a complete team to even think about playing for a playoff spot, because Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, Michigan, they're going too deep. They're going too deep at every position. You've got to be one deep at every position.
Well, I mean,
you've got to be one deep to even think about it.
Even the decision to not go get Brown from Miami, Tamar Brown is from Omaha.
Yeah.
He was at North Dakota State, ran for 1,100 yards. Nebraska probably could have, I mean, if they wanted to, they could have maybe gotten him. I mean, I think they were recruiting him.
Yeah.
He goes to Miami. I mean, they're undefeated. He scored 4 touchdowns on the season. Like, I mean, these are these moments where, and this is not, like, you can't say we're being unfair here. We talked about this during the offseason.
Yeah.
I thought if I could have made a bet at the end of the Pinstripe Bowl, if you had to place a bet, what do you think is no question they're going to do in the portal? I'm like, they're going to go get a running back.
They had to.
And they didn't do it.
And man,
So I think it's worth pointing out, like, because now we're living in this world where these kinds of things are fair game.
What are the transparency rules right now around who's getting paid what? Are people
disclosing that? I'm not sure. You have to disclose that stuff. But
I don't know how they don't. And to me, I think if we're going to be in this world, which I don't love that we are.
No.
But if we are, it should be transparent, and it should be like, I want to know what you're doing and why.
Yeah.
Right. Because everybody needs to know who's getting paid what, I think. And I think it will be so much more telling who's doing a good job at that aspect of the game.
Yes. So I think it's interesting to think about the decisions you make in the portal, obviously, were for that kind of a game.
Yeah.
And Nebraska felt like they were lacking in certain areas that they either missed or didn't go into the portal for.
Yeah.
So couple of other things. Well, do we want to get to should we get to the Peerless Energy Systems top performer player of the game? I wrote down 2 guys.
Okay. Do they have to be, they're Nebraska guys?
You want to go? I mean,
I didn't know I had no idea.
I mean, I suppose if you want to.
I didn't. You go.
I did not. I didn't consider a Michigan guy. Would you have wrote down Haynes, or would you wrote down number 1, or would you wrote down?
I have no. I didn't know what, because we lost. I didn't know you could. What that was.
That's true. It does feel weird to be what a great job.
No, go. Let's give it to the Huskers. I
wrote down 2 guys. I wrote down Dylan.
Yeah.
30 of 41, 308 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Sure, we talked about he
was 30 of 41.
30 of 41, dog. Got sacked 7, 8 times, however you want to look at it. But the guy had 0 time to throw, and the guy threw for I mean, imagine that game with Heinrich Harburg at quarterback or Jeff Sims at quarterback. They would have gotten run off. It would have been a rout.
Yeah.
So for anybody that is maybe criticizing Dylan, listen, he has his weaknesses, if you will, but man, I thought there were moments yesterday I was just like, wow, what a throw.
Yeah. As the season goes on, there's less and less quarterbacks that I would say, would you trade Dylan for?
Right.
And that the list is becoming smaller and smaller, right?
And it's hard because I think we all are in agreement. If there's one thing you wish he was a little more mobile, if he just had, not saying he needs to be Eric Crouch, I'm saying just a little bit more mobile.
If he was a little bit more mobile, he would be
hurting people. I mean, destroying people. So I wrote down him, and then I wrote down Ja'Cory Barney. I know he makes a mistake on catching the one bad one at the 3-yard line, but he had 6 catches for 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. 1 was a Hail Mary. He had 1 carry for 7 yards, and he had the 1 good punt return, the 1 punt mistake catching at the 3, and then he had another finger tackle.
Yeah, another finger tackle, but he did break some tackles in the 1 punt. Like he actually showed me we kind of challenged Barney in one of our earlier pods. It was like, come on, like we want to see what we think. Right. I felt like he did that. He was very competitive. Like catching a Hail Mary shows me you're a competitive person. Because it's like,
you gotta
go get it, right? Yeah. Like it's not. I love that. So that tells me a lot about Barney. He stepped up in my book. Obviously frustrated to death about the punt return thing, but I'm cool with that because I said I think he's competitive.
I kind of want to give it to him.
Good.
Or what? I mean,
in a loss,
Dylan threw for 300, but Barney caught a Hail Mary.
Yeah, I like it.
You want to do that?
Sure.
So Peerless Energy Systems, top performer, MVP of the game. We're going with Ja'Cory Barney. Again, Peerless Energy Systems for any and all of your air compressor, ancillary compressed air equipment. You got to think Peerless Energy Systems. They manufacturing, food processing, transportation, refineries, body shop, car dealer, automotive, countertop makers, any and all air compressor needs. Peerless Energy Systems has you covered. Go to peerlessenergy.com. Shouts out to Ja'Cory Barney for being awarded the Peerless MVP.
Congratulations,
son. Any part? Remember was it the sports reporters on Sunday? On ESPN, where it'd be like Mike Lupica and Bob Ryan, they'd have like a parting shot. They would all go around. It was the most like newspaper thing in the world. And they'd all have some clever ending. Like, someone needs to tell Bill Belichick that the Patriot Act only gives George Bush the chance to spy, not you.
That's great.
And I am the sports reporters. Coming up next, it's it. But do you? I was like 10 years old, and I'd be in my basement,
like the Patriot Act. What the hell?
So, it'd be all these references. Yeah.
Huh?
In a salary cap world, I'm just like, so like, you talking about Randy Moss or who are we talking about here? But do you have any? I mean, I don't. It's weird. It's just we'll wrap it up where we began. And just trying to put into context how to feel after that game. Because, like, in a lot of ways, like everything we've said today kind of has been on a loop. Like, weren't good enough the trenches, the talent discrepancy, didn't win one-on-one, whatever. You know, we've said this before, you know, like, you know, I also don't want to have, like, I'm not saying that I do believe that this team is improving. But I also, I mean, you and I were in the stands in 2021 when Nebraska went toe-to-toe with a better Michigan team.
Yeah.
And it was 33-28, you know? So, like, I also don't want to have sometimes you do this thing like Nebraska's never hung in there again. No, they have.
I would argue that team played a better game than we played.
I agree.
I think they played their dang near best game.
Yes.
With a really good Michigan team. But they they called a good game. They played a great game. They played like if their best game is a 10, they played like a 9.7.
Right.
And Michigan played like they played an average game for them, and it still wasn't good enough. So short. So
I guess the reason I bring that up is like I don't want to get too far into this. Like, I mean, let's not just have amnesia that Nebraska hasn't. I know they lost, but it's not like they've never not been close to beating one of these teams before. I mean, they almost beat that Michigan team a couple of years ago. Like,
we did not measure up. This was the measuring stick game. We did not measure up to being a playoff team, but we are an improved team. I think we still have a chance to get those 8 or 9 wins. I do. I really sincerely believe
I do too.
that.
I do too. I will say a couple of things though. All of a sudden, not sure if you watched it yesterday, Maryland goes to Camp Randall and beats the living tar out of Wisconsin. Wisconsin's in trouble. Yeah. They were chanting "Fire Fickle" at halftime. Not good. So all of a sudden that Maryland game, I mean, Maryland's, let's not make them out to be incredible, but like they just won at Wisconsin.
I need to see that. I mean, that's like hard to understand.
I watched a little bit on and it was legit.
Yeah.
Michigan State lost at USC. But I think Michigan State, they got a mobile quarterback. Like the next couple of weeks, so now you got to sit with this taste in your mouth for 2 weeks, and you got Michigan State, then you're at Maryland, and you got either Northwestern and then Minnesota, or Minnesota then Northwestern. I think it's Northwestern then Minnesota. So you got a stretch of games here. That stuff's about. We're gonna be interesting to see how it all reacts. It is funny how fans and everybody how. You know, we talk about the roller coaster of momentum, and it's like everybody yesterday, 24 hours ago, people were talking about if Nebraska wins this game, let's talk about the playoff. And now the sky is falling for some people. And it's like, well, let's not be the two extremes here.
In a weird way, I slept great last night. I really didn't stress about it. I feel like
I don't know how I feel about that because I agree with you, and I don't know if that's good.
It's good only in the sense of I still feel like we're on the right path.
Okay.
I really do. I just feel like Matt Rule I still see as the guy. The question is going to be, can we get to those 8 or 9 wins? Like put us at another level. It's slower than maybe we want this build to be. Like it's not Indiana. And I just don't think we're going to be Indiana right now. Like,
and how many, I mean, to be fair, let's sometimes not use the exception to the rule when comparing to Rule. I'm Mike Lupica. You've been watching the sport.
Oh, God.
For all you Husker fans pointing at Kurt Signetti, let's not use the exception to the rule when judging Rule.
Judging that Rule. Pretty good. Pretty good. But that's actually a great point. Nick, that's a great sports reporter point that you just made. Let's not use the exception to the rule to judge Matt Rule. But Indiana has never won, ever. And then they make the biggest jump and get to the playoff out of anybody. So, like, Okay, I don't know how to explain Indiana. Like, is
I don't either.
That good?
I don't know.
He's the
I
best
don't know.
coach
They brought in this
football.
new quarterback too. Like, because that's the thing that I think everybody's like, okay, well, did they catch lightning in a bottle, bringing all those James Madison guys or blah blah blah, whatever. But now they bring in this different quarterback, and he's out there wheeling and dealing. So it just, I mean, they won 63-10.
I can't explain it. Like, Signetti must be just great. So
I know.
Let's not think about Indiana. I think we're building the slow, steady build up, the rule kind of like we kind of wanted him to do. If the goal is 8 or 9 wins, obviously, like there's a ton that could still happen this season.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying I don't really see this as a playoff team right now.
I don't. You and I never subscribed to that.
Yeah, but like, can you do that? Keep Dylan one more year, get him more talent, bring in the horses on the front seven, and like on the O line, and like see what can happen next year, right? So like, it's hard to say that about where we're at right now. But that's probably true.
Sam McEwen was big on this when in August, talking about when people talk about the expectations for this year. He called it a 2-year conversation.
Yeah.
He thinks it's more about like, he thinks next year is the year. Now, we've been saying that. I mean, put it on a t-shirt. Next year is the year.
I know it is. But you can't get next year without a good finish to this year.
100%. And that's where you better, like, so we talk about these flashpoint moments where you just don't get a ton of these when you're trying to build a program, these kinds of wins where, man, you win that game, it maybe changes everything. And you actually, not to go back to Frost talking about, we could never kind of catch a wave. We just talk about that, like just that wave of excitement, wave of momentum. Like, if they had won yesterday, there would have been a major wave to ride into who knows what could have happened for the rest of the season. But yeah, you got to find a way to get to, Michigan State. I think that game's, to me, this is just real. I think these next 3 games are all coin flip games. 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I think the next 3 games. It's like, and then USC is a game where, who, in some ways, I think Nebraska, USC, there's a world where is USC better than Michigan? Maybe, but I think Nebraska matches up better with USC than Michigan. And then obviously UCLA is a train wreck right now. That's still on the road, but then Penn State on the road. Yikes. And then here comes the old fighting Kirk Ferentz's to end the season. So
I don't know exactly how the season's going to turn out, but I don't think any game's going to be easy. I think we're going to have to really, 1 week at a time, play really good football. And then I think we'll end up with that 8 or 9 wins.
Right.
But we're going to have to do it every week. Because you said, like, I don't care if you're playing Northwestern or Maryland now. Maryland scored points. Minnesota's going to be tough. Like,
yes,
it's going to be a grinder. That's where we're at. We're at where there's no game that's a gimme to me.
Right. I don't know. Nebraska lived in the blowout world for 2 straight weeks, and all of a sudden it got a little cushy and
reality check. So
all right. Did we cover it all? I thought we covered it all.
The exception is not the rule. Remember that.
All right. The Sports Reporter signing off. Coming up next, a brand new episode of Dennis the Menace. Enjoy, folks.
A Hurrdat Sports Network production.